will not allow my personal interest to influence my official conduct or my official decisions, that I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that I will abide by the code of conduct contained in the fifth schedule to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that in all circumstances I will do right to all manner of people according to law, without fear or favor, affection or ill will, that I will not directly or indirectly communicate or reveal to any person any matter which shall be brought under my consideration or shall become known to me as a governor of Ondo State, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as governor, and that I will devote myself to the service and well-being of people of Nigeria. So help me God.
Give us your reaction to the passing of your governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, SAN.
Well, as a human being, I send my condolences to the family. And there's nothing too shocking about it, because we knew that this was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. And it's sad that his family and some politicians did this to him. There was no basis for bringing him from Germany to Nigeria, only for politics. And that must have hastened his demise. But regardless, cancer is not something you wish on anybody, especially when it reaches terminal stages. It was just a matter of time. As a matter of fact, from what I heard and I knew, which I told you the last time we spoke here, he was given up to May 2023, but he survived a bit longer. Probably would have, stayed longer if his wife had not forced him to come back to try and use his presence to impeach his deputy, who today is the governor of the state. So we did our part, and it's up to the new substantive governor to do his part. If you ask me, do I have any special hope that something would happen differently? I don't think so. This is a period of political transition. So what you see more of is the new substantive governor trying to become a governor, and his opponents doing everything to sabotage him. So there'll be a lot of distractions.
Omeshore, how will you remember Rotimi Akeredolu?
Honestly, I told you last time, and I'll say it again, I never paid too much attention to this state, even though it was my state, for the big picture. So I was focused on how to liberate our country, Nigeria. But so what I remember of him is this last part, and I think whatever his legacies might have been, which I don't see much on the ground, this is what came to define him, the guy who was dying but, clung to power.
Are you not being too hard? Are you not being too hard on him? I mean, before he left,
I thought you were asking for my opinion, not, you're not asking for me to sympathize.
No, yeah, I know. I'm just asking if you're not being too hard on him.
And nobody even thinks about them. We just lost some 150 people in Plateau State. We don't even know their names. So nobody's special in my eyes. Nobody deserves to die any tragic or untimely death. So I'm just giving you my opinion about what I know about him and the part that I played in it. I'm currently in Ondo State. I don't see any highways. I personally help pay teachers in some secondary schools in Ondo State. I help fix secondary school classroom in my hometown. This shouldn't have happened, especially considering that we could have resolved this a year ago, give a clear path to transition and allow some kind of attention to issues of development in the state. So the fact that somebody dies doesn't mean that we should not talk about how the living will progress. He's dead. He doesn't see us anymore. He doesn't care about us. There's nothing we say here that will affect him.
Okay,
It's
so
gone. It's joined
there is
matter.
a school of thought, that says he will remembered. He left a legacy with his rise to become a senior advocate of Nigeria. He also played a part in the Nigerian political scene, where for the first time you had a ruling political party being defeated. He was part of the APC. And then also, as governor, one of his legacies people have talked about is his role in the emergence of Omoteku, which seems to have brought some calm in terms of security, banditry, headsmen activities. That's the bad headsmen farmer clashes, if you want to call it that. That Omoteku really came to bring a relative peace to the Southwest. What's your take on that?
I like I said, I look at the big picture. I don't look at small things. I don't look at symbolism. He's done his part, and he's died. And there's no reason for me to try to play down what people believe to be his legacy. I'm just speaking to you directly from my heart. And I said, I judge him, I judge his political party, I judge their conduct and character. And they don't meet up to my own standard. And nothing says I can't speak my mind simply because someone died. Akeredolu, being who he was before he died, would have said what he felt. When former President Yaradua was sick and they were playing the same game with Nigeria, he spoke out. As a matter of fact, I think I said it on the show. If not, I said it somewhere, where he returned from vacation, his medical vacation, and he was told clearly that this was going to be terminal. He told his family to take him to his hometown so that he could die peacefully there, but of course he refused because
I said the family refused to take him there?
Life.
Okay, you said the family refused him to take him to his hometown.
Yes, when he came back from this last vacation, from what I learned from family sources, he requested that he doesn't want to go anywhere anymore because he was told clearly in a German hospital in Berlin that he can't make it. And he wanted to go back to his hometown and just die there. But I heard his wife and his son and some members of his political family refused. He said because they needed to use his presence to impeach his deputy and put someone that's malleable and that can do their bidding. That's part of what I'm talking about. This ought not have happened at all. This is dragged on for too long. If there was any part of a period that he was mentally aware, physically aware, and he didn't step his foot on the ground, I think that was a flaw on his part. But we're not, it's too late now. We can't be blaming him. But I'm just telling you contextually and analytically how I see things in this state.
All right. I don't know if we can say categorically that his wife, his son, his family, and those in his inner circle didn't take him to a war to allow him live out his last days as he wished, because they wanted to, use him for political gain. Yeah, sure. I'm coming, please. I'm so sorry. I had a reason to take care of an aged father for quite some time, and I know sometimes when he says, I just want to go home and die, I will hope against hope that to keep him alive and do everything that I needed to do to keep Mr. Bartels alive, because I felt he had lost hope, but I still had hope that he could make it through, pull through, So I know you understand, that family members, loved ones, may want to do everything.
I understand. I understand that you're playing the devil's advocate here.
No, not devil's advocate. I'm just bringing another possibility.
Too many advocates already. You don't have. What I'm saying here is what I know. There's nothing, and you can go back and watch all my position on this one. Don't matter since it started that I started speaking with you directly. There's nothing I told you that is not true. I was the first person to tell you on this show that he's had cancer and that he can't stand up, he can't walk, he can't control himself, he cannot do anything. I said that barely a week ago, if you recall.
Yeah.
And this a week later, the person I told you precisely couldn't do anything and I was brain dead, has died completely now. They were just keeping him up. I think they put him on a life they put him on life support for a while. And, when they took him to to Germany, the initial hospital that treated him in Berlin rejected him. They had to fly him to Hanover, where, they just accepted him grudgingly. Nobody's even sure if he went in there dead and they were just hiding his body. What happened in that Akeredolu's case, if we're to be in a serious country, there will be investigations because there are allegations of forgery. If this happened in the US, you will see family members facing attempted murder charges. And I'm serious, I'm not joking. You can't do this to someone and not answer for your crimes just because you feel like you can milk his vulnerable condition. And nobody's talking about it. Everybody wants to say, oh, rest in peace. This man can't find peace because he was not allowed to even live in peace towards the most vulnerable period of his life. I don't think if there's life after death, Akeredolu will be happy with the way he was treated by members of his family and close political associates.
It's a hard one. It's a hard one.
No, we never find out.
Yeah, you say you have reports. Yeah.
Let me tell you this.
Okay.
Let me tell you this. Till today, do you know that Nigerians don't know what killed Yar'Adua? None. And this was a contest political period. It almost broke this country. But because we have very low memory, where people who are quick to forget, we don't take anything serious. We just like to move on. Nobody till today has seen the medical report of Umar Musa Yar'Adua. Nobody knew the hospital where he was treated in Germany. Nobody can tell you except a few people.
In Saudi Arabia.
If this was in the US, there would be an inquiry. There would be a commission of inquiry so that this will not repeat itself.
Okay.
And it is because we didn't treat the Yar'Adua case seriously that somebody could have done this with Ondo State. And who knows what they would do again.
Yes, sure. But what I'm saying is your information, and you used the word incapacitated last time that you were on this program. And
yes.
I did ask you, what's the source of information? I tried to probe. You're saying that, maybe you were right, because, it's just some days after.
It's not that maybe. I was completely right. I was 100%
okay.
right.
But you said he was at the point of death and he's died. So it's turning towards, what you said. But on the part of the family, on the part of the wife, on the part of Akeredolu's son, can we say that they did not love their father enough to want to do everything to keep him alive? Because if you're saying that they could be tried for culpable homicide if it was in the US, but the man was already told to go home and die. So it was already a fait accompli. It was already a fait accompli.
If he was asked to go and die, right?
So how can you accuse them of killing somebody who was already dying? Yeah.
You see, somebody could be in coma. Can you listen to me, please? 1 second. Somebody could be in coma in a hospital and has a date of death. Say he's going to die, next month. If a nurse goes in there to pull the plug without being asked to do so, without the permission of the family, that nurse will face culpable homicide charges. Do you know that?
Okay.
You know that, right?
I'm not listening.
You can't just kill somebody. But if you kill somebody through negligence or through, very intentional harm, you could also face charges. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he didn't know he would die, but they didn't have to kill him. They didn't have to treat him in a manner that is so negligent that he died suddenly, or the manner he died. So that's what I mean. That's somebody could want to kill himself. You can go commit suicide. If you fail, you also face charges. You know that? You can want to try to commit suicide. If you don't kill yourself in the course of committing suicide, you face charges. You know that, right?
All right. Let's do the personal side of it.
We'll come back. Simply because they determined that he might die. You can't do that. You can't do anything to hasten the death of anybody through negligence or through any intentional acts and get away with it. Right. Let's learn that today.
All right. We wait to hear, get some more information on the, circumstances of his death.
The sad part is that we may never get any information. This is how we move on in Nigeria. Nobody's going to tell you, because the next set of people they will, instead of learning how to prevent this, they will go and learn how, Akeredolu's family and his people got away with it, so that they can do it when it's their turn too. That's why Nigeria is the way it is.
Omoyele Shure, with the benefit of hindsight, the whole political imbroglio and the battle between the inner circle of Akeredolu and, of course, the deputy governor and his people, with the benefit of hindsight, do you think the political battle was worth it if this man was so close to his grave?
Those who fought the battle knew it was worth it. The part of it that I did was very much worth the outcome. Those who wanted to keep in so that they can forge the signatures and take away 7.9 billion naira from the state while he was away. You remember I had a rally or town hall meeting where I said he was the most expensive ghost worker in Nigeria's history. Those who were benefiting and reaping from it, it's what it is. They're smiling to the banks. And, they're going to bring in from Germany. I'm sure they will inflate cost of transportation of his body. It's more scam. It's, again, that's what Nigeria is. That's why I look at this from the context of how do we keep doing this to ourselves? And we argue on TV, why are you not sympathetic, But just as I'm talking to you, people are going to die on the highway between Ore and Akure because they refuse to dualize the roads. People are going to be dying in hospitals that were not built. If they built hospitals in Nigeria, maybe he'll be alive today. If they had hospitals that are good. The place where he died is a small town I heard. It's a state hospital, in the state of, I forgot the name of it, but it's close to Hanover. So that's where he died. He died in a state hospital, from what I heard. State hospital, just like Ondo State, in Germany.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You want, the circumstances surrounding his death and the refusal of the governor to resign, and we had a whole drama with his signature. You had contracts being approved, government documents being signed. You want all that to be investigated. Who should undertake that investigation?
Sorry, I don't have much expectations, and I'm sorry to say this, because even our little experience coming to the state shows that, the new governor, the substantive governor now is probably a low budget Akeredolu as well. I even heard today that he was not aware that the governor died until he read in media. He was in Igbokoda, and then he was told the letter that was written to President Tinubu was written by, Akeredolu's wife and a cabal. You know that as of 4 days ago, his wife was in a state meeting with some state legislators. And you ask yourself, under, what authority would she be meeting with officials of the state? Your husband is in hospital in Germany, you are here meeting with state, and they were bragging at that meeting that, he'll soon be back, him and the speak. That's why I said, these guys are a joke, these legislators in the state, and probably across the country anyways. And then yesterday, she was on social media fighting over, some concrete divider in Akure. Why did they demolish it? And all that. These people are bush people. Your husband, that's part of the reason why I think this woman should be investigated. I'm sorry to say. Maybe there's something she knows that the rest of us don't know,
Right.
Regarding the condition of our husband and what it meant to her, If anybody tries to be empathic, I think it's his wife. And I'm not saying things I don't know. I'm talking about things she's doing publicly. Very embarrassing. I'm talking about yesterday. She was still fighting over some issues, some irrelevant issues in the state, at the state capital. And her husband was there in coma, dying, and probably they were looking for her to ask permission to pull the plug. She could care. She couldn't care less.
We have to cross-check, do some fact-checking to know whether she was by the husband's side in Germany, in Hanover, or
until you find out my facts and correct, they remain very, very tangible.
Okay, all right. Well, you're the one who broke, or your outfit broke the story of death of Yaradua. You told us how you got that. We have to go, Boyele Shure. I want to take just the last one. What do you expect of the new leadership going forward in Ondo State? And what should the new governor focus on?
I think I mentioned it when we started the conversation. Any state that's in transition, elections are coming, they don't expect much. What I see the substantive governor trying to do is to buy the ticket of APC, and from what I'm aware of, the chairman of APC is his friend, that's Gandola, former governor of Kanu State, the man we know as Gandola.
Ganduje, yes, not Gandola.
So they're good friends. So it's a easy buy, people like Jimo Ibrahim and all these characters in the state. I feel bad for the states, considering the people who are lining up to become governors. So, but a lot of things are also going to change in the next few weeks and months. So just watch out.
Okay. When you say things are going to change, you have something up your sleeve you want to tell us?
No, I know where you heard is, maybe Shore wants to contest for governor. Never. I'm not going to contest for the governorship of Ondo State. But I'm just saying that, as terrible as things are in Ondo State, it's also a very dynamic state historically. Sometimes the people of Ondo State wake up the way you'd never expect. This is the first state in the federation that elected a Labour Party candidates when all of that major parties were winning election. They opted to go for an unknown party, Labour Party. So it's a very dynamic state. They do, in quote unquote, Ondo State people do crazy things sometimes. I wish they did this time around before now. We could have resolved this a year ago.